Howard Stern made his entire career being edgy, pushing the envelope, doing things that were not politically correct, that were beyond the pale for a lot of people. But in recent years, he's kind of changed his tune. In recent years, he's become basically a shill for big government. He's been a shill for the establishment. He's not been the same dude that he was when he made his career. And that's the reason he's getting absolutely destroyed for the comments he made recently about NBA players. And NBA players not coming up and saying hi to him. Black NBA players having a problem with him because he was white, but they'll go up and they'll talk to Spike Lee. Internet dunks on Howard Stern after he laments black NBA players ignoring him during games. Quote, they go over to Spike Lee. The Sirius XM star voiced his complaint during Friday's broadcast of his show, telling Robin Quivers that black players won't say hello to him during games. The Knicks have been very kind to me. They put me right in the front row. That's when I knew I was famous. When I have courtside. They put me courtside. And the black players won't come over and say hello to me, but they go over to Spike Lee. I mean, they should know that. I grew up in a black neighborhood. You know what I mean? But I get ignored. Stern went on to insist it isn't just Lee the black players fawn over. I'll be sitting next to Tracy Morgan or Chris Rock. You know, they seat you where they seat you. A lot of times when I'm there next to Tracy Morgan, who's so funny, a couple of players will come over. They give him the bro shake, stuff like that. And I'm like, these guys should hug me too. But I grew up in a black neighborhood, but I get ignored. Now, obviously, I think he's probably joking around with this stuff, right? He's joking around with this stuff. But Stern
when he brought up growing up in a black neighborhood, he's probably joking about that.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And then he says this. No, not what I saw. I want them to. I want them to talk to me. I want them to come and go, hey, Howard, fan of the show. I don't get that. And you know who comes up to me sometimes? The referees, white guys and black guys. They'll come up to me and say, hey, Howard, hey. But a lot of the white referees. So I'm like, oh, is everything racial now? Can I get a shout out from some of the players? Spoiler alert, Howard Stern. 25-year-old black NBA players have no fucking idea who you are.
No.
Because you haven't been relevant in quite some time. That's why no players are coming up and talking to you. That's why no players who know who the fuck you are.
Let me bring this up too. He's still on Sirius XM, right?
Yeah.
You got to pay for that. Whereas a Joe Rogan, you can listen to him for free on Spotify. I'm willing to bet if Rogan, and Rogan's what, 55. I'm willing to bet if Rogan went to a Knicks game and he said next to Spike Lee, the players would probably be dabbing him up because they know Rogan. They don't know you.
Rogan's still he's more culturally relevant now than he's ever been. You know what I mean? White, black, old, young, whatever. But some people like to remind Howard Stern of maybe why some black players don't want to go up and talk to you. This is Terrence Williams, our man Terrence Williams. Howard Stern in blackface and using the N-word like crazy. Howard Stern attacked President Trump. They called Trump supporters racist, but white liberals and Democrats always in blackface and using the N-word. We're not going to play this, but
oh no!
If you have ever seen this skit before,
it's funny as hell, though.
It's funny as hell, but like this is imagine anyone trying to do this nowadays. The same Howard Stern who wore blackface while using the N-word and congratulated cops who beat Rodney King, shown here. It's ironic that Howard Stern thinks racism is a factor when he's ignored by young NBA players. He was getting annihilated.
Yeah.
Over this. Now, I do think there's an element of comedy to it, but there's also an element of him thinking that he's more culturally significant than he is. Young players in the NBA, whether they're white or black, don't know who the fuck you are.
I mean, that clip he had the great Sherman Hensley in it as Whoopi Goldberg. I don't know exactly when it was. Was that back in the 90s? It's probably the 90s.
Had to be in the 90s.
Had to be in the 90s. No way in hell would that be made today. I mean, think of this. That's actual blackface right there. And the Wotes are already trying to go after Robert Downey Jr. for playing Kurt Lazarus in Tropic Thunder. I mean, that was actual blackface right there. But it was comedy back then. I mean, they were mocking the whole Ted Danson because Ted Danson actually dressed up in blackface when he was with Whoopi Goldberg. That's the whole reason for that skit.
Yeah, it's crazy. 1993 was that skit, apparently.
Oh, that long ago. Okay.